What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the channel. It's another live stream right here on Cassius Morris Official. Good to be back. We're back on the daily streams, getting the time to hit them every single day, and it's taken a lot of effort, a lot of adjustments to be able to do so, but it is worth it because we've had one hell of a week, last week especially when it comes to streams. This week is going to be even better. And today's going to be no exception. So obviously, as you can see by the title, the main topic of tonight is going to be 50 Cent announcing that he turned down a $3 million offer to perform at Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City. After that, we're going to hop into Tekashi 6ix9ine being arrested yet again by the feds, and then Ghost announcing their brand new concert tour with an official ban on cell phones. This is everything that we're going to cover on tonight's stream, starting with 50 Cent. So 50 Cent did a brand new interview on The Breakfast Club, which, by the way, you know, as the comments reflected on this interview, you know, I feel the same way. Every time there's a 50 Cent interview that comes out, that is an immediate click from me, okay? There's not a single person I think does a better interview in the world of hip-hop and rap than 50 Cent. He always has something interesting to say. And this interview was no exception. So when asked about the rumor that he was offered to perform at a Trump rally, this is what 50 had to say, then revealing a bombshell.
You know, politics is coming up, election. Is it true Donald Trump tried to give you money to endorse him one time?
I got a call, but they wanted me to, Sunday.
Oh, they wanted you to come yesterday.
Madison Square Garden?
This week.
They wanted you to
because they
pop
wanted
out
you to perform Mini Men. They wanted you to perform Mini Men at the RNC too, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they was offering me $3 million.
To perform?
At the RNC or this past Sunday?
Huh?
At
No, this past Sunday.
At $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then they offered you money for the Republican National Convention too, right?
He turned
How
it
much
down?
was that?
Yeah, I didn't even go far back. I wasn't talking to them about that kind of stuff. 'Cause I'm afraid of politics, bro. So you understand. I do not like
You don't like
no part of
no
politics.
gang bang with politics.
No gangbang, no politics. You know, it's because when you do get involved in it, no matter how you feel, someone passionately disagrees with you.
That's everything, though. I mean, politics
No,
is worse, but
it's
that's
worse now.
everything.
But look, if you say, I stay away from religion, I stay away from politics. Religion, that's the formula for the confusion that is sent Kanye to Japan. he said something about both of those things, and now he can only go to Japan.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, I don't want.
There we go, 50 Cent speaking on turning down $3 million to perform at the Trump rally. Now, some pretty interesting insight here from 50 Cent. And I think this is very telling of the way that this man thinks and the way that his mind operates. And I do think that, honestly, based on who he is and based on the situation that 50 Cent is in, this was probably the absolute best choice for 50 Cent to actually go ahead and avoid this. And I'll tell you why. 50 Cent is one of those personalities where, because I feel like there's two different types of entertainers. There's entertainers who are strictly there to entertain, which I would say 50 Cent falls into that category. And then there's entertainers who are there to be a part of the greater conversation, entertainers that want to weigh in on bigger topics than just them, and people that you kind of want to look to that, you know, when something happens, you wonder, I wonder what such and such would say. You know, 50 Cent brings up Kanye, and I think that, you know, his example of Kanye West, you know, being in the wrong when he went into politics and stuff like that, I think is a bad analogy because Kanye West is one of those artists that we've always looked to for his social commentary. We wanted to know what he thought about Hurricane Katrina. We wanted to know what he thought about all these different topics. Maybe not as much now for the general public. But again, Kanye West is one of those artists that is on the other side of the coin. 50 Cent, however, completely opposite. He's not the guy that you go to for social commentary. He's not the guy that you go to for anything serious. And beyond that, 50 Cent has actually compromised a lot of his actual beliefs for his entertainment persona. For example, this is a guy who makes music and his biggest hits are about drinking alcohol, taking drugs. This is a man who does not drink alcohol, okay? I know that, again, a lot of people don't even realize this. 50 Cent is completely sober. He doesn't do drugs, he doesn't drink. To the point where he will actually hold fake champagne bottles and fake glasses of alcohol just to put that image out. So the point being, 50 Cent doesn't care necessarily about what his beliefs are and broadcasting those beliefs to the world. 50 Cent is more invested in broadcasting an image to the world, an image that he's curating. So that being said, even if 50 Cent did support Donald Trump, right? Even if 50 Cent is going to the polls to vote for Donald Trump, he's not the type of entertainer that's going to put that out there. He's not the type of entertainer that's going to make that part of his brand. And again, I think this is a genius move from 50 because you really only have two options. You can either be part of the greater conversation and accept the consequences that come with it, or you completely avoid it. There is no in between. So I feel like, again, this was a good move by 50. And you know, it's crazy to think about the money that's being offered for him. $3 million offered to him to perform at the Trump rally. I mean, first of all, 50 is rich enough, so he doesn't need the money. But this does make me almost question some of the people that we're seeing speaking at these rallies. If 50 Cent gets $3 million, and he may not need it so he can pass it up, but there's celebrities out there who need a couple million. Meaning there's probably celebrities they could get to endorse a candidate for 150 grand, 250 grand, right? They don't have to go all the way to 3 million. But it makes me wonder how much money is each individual person getting paid to endorse each candidate? Because look, I mean, we can't assume that these people are doing this for free, right? I mean, you see Tucker Carlson up there with Trump. You see Beyonce up there with Kamala Harris. These people are all getting paid. It's not like they're there from the goodness of their heart. And I feel like that's sort of the image that the Trump campaign tries to push. It's like, yeah, my buddy Hulk Hogan is here, and my buddy Tucker Carlson, and we're all such good buddies that we're just here campaigning, doing it up. I mean, it's possible, but I would say there's definitely some money exchanging hands here, which I don't personally like. I think that it also kind of goes against Donald Trump's main message, which is the fact that, look, I don't deal with donors, and there's no money being exchanged in terms of, pressuring or pushing somebody's opinion. So this sort of would go against that if you're kind of paying people to endorse you. And it also goes with the theme of like Elon Musk doing his $1 million giveaway, kind of paying people to endorse. But again, this is not a partisan thing. This is Kamala Harris as well. Kamala Harris is paying, I heard Beyonce got close to $10 million to speak at the Kamala Harris rally. So if that's not buying votes, guys, I don't know what is, okay? Like, legitimately, these people are so smart with the way they approach it, these politicians, they're not going to directly buy votes. But, I mean, if you're paying somebody $10 million to endorse you, and they have a massive reach of fans who will support you, who will vote for you just because that person says, and you're paying them, isn't that buying votes? I mean, that's the thing. They're smart about it because they're politicians. They're not saying, I will pay the person to vote for me, but they're going around it in that way. It's sort of buying votes, I would say, if you're paying candidates to endorse you. But on the other, side of that, Donald Trump has a lot of very wealthy people endorsing him. A guy like Elon Musk, for example, I highly doubt Elon Musk would want to get paid to endorse Donald Trump. I mean, Elon Musk doesn't have to get paid to do anything anymore, especially if he's genuinely interested. So an endorsement like that rings, a little more true to me, like in the sense that it feels more genuine. But yeah, in this, again, both sides, guys, just the idea that, no, that's what I'm saying, Austin. It's lobbying, but Donald Trump says, I don't do lobbying. Donald Trump says, I don't deal with donors. There's no special interest. There's none of this. That's exactly what this is. If you're paying somebody $3 million to essentially endorse you, that's what I'm saying. So it's not it sort of goes against what he's talking about here. Things are so bad for Kamala. Billy Squier turned her down. Oh, God. For anybody who's just joining, we're talking about 50 Cent turning down $3 million to perform at the Donald Trump rally. We're going to play the clip again for anybody who's just joining, and make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the stream. But here's the deal. People are in the chat are saying, well, he was paying him to perform, not to endorse him. Guys, we all know that a performance at a rally is basically an endorsement, okay? Like, we know that the world we're living in today, where it's so high, high pressure politics, identity politics, all this bullshit, if somebody's performing at a rally, you're going to take that as an endorsement, right? When I see Beyonce at a Kamala Harris rally, she may not get up there and say word for word, I endorse Kamala Harris for president. But I take that as an endorsement. So yeah, I mean, 50 Cent is obviously looking at it that way too. And we saw the same thing with Tony Hinchcliffe last night when he got up and told jokes, even though he did give an endorsement. But even if he wouldn't have directly said it, it's taken as an endorsement. Let's play the clip here from 50 Cent speaking on why he turned down $3 million to perform at the Donald Trump rally. And while we listen to this, I want you guys to put your comments in. I'll read them after. Do you think 50 Cent made the right move to avoid the Trump rally, to not perform at the Trump rally? Let me know what you guys think, and we'll watch the clip once more for the people who missed it. Let's check it out.
Politics is coming up, election. Is it true Donald Trump tried to give you money to endorse him one time?
I got a call, but they wanted me to. Well, Sunday.
Or they wanted you to come
Oh,
yesterday?
Madison Square Garden?
This week.
He wanted
Oh
you
yeah,
to
because they
pop
wanted
out
you to
there?
perform Mini Man. They wanted you to perform Mini Man at the RNC too, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they still offered me $3 million.
To perform?
At the RNC or this past Sunday?
Huh?
At
No, this past Sunday.
At $3 million. And then they offered you money for the Republican National Convention too, right?
$3 million.
He turned
How
it
much
down?
is that?
Yeah, I didn't even go far back. I wasn't talking to them about that kind of stuff. 'Cause I'm afraid of politics, bro. So you understand? I do not like
You don't like
No
gang
part of
bang, no
politics.
gang bang with politics.
no gangbang, no politics. It's because when you do get involved in it, no matter how you feel, someone passionately disagrees with you.
That's everything, though. I mean, politics
No,
is worse, but
it's
that's
worse now,
everything.
But look, if you say, I stay away from religion, I stay away from politics. Religion, that's the formula for the confusion that is sent Kanye to Japan. he said something about both of those things, and now he can only go to Japan.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, I don't want.
Now he can only go to Japan. Like I say, guys, I do think the Kanye West analogy is a bad one. Don't get me wrong. I think Kanye was very sloppy when he stepped into the world of politics. Like, I think there was definitely a lot to be desired with his approach. He went in a lot too early. He put a lot on the line when he started going into politics. We got to remember, no celebrity publicly endorsed Trump when Kanye did it. If you were to publicly endorse Trump now, it's not really that big of an issue because a lot of people are doing it now. Joe Rogan has finally done it now. All the people are kind of coming out of the shadows because it's accepted now. But back then especially, it didn't work for Ye quite as much. But yeah, man, I mean, I kind of agree with what the chat is saying here. 50 Cent avoiding this is probably good. He could have made a bag off it. I mean, $3 million is $3 million, whether you are a rich person or not. If you're under billionaire level, which I would assume 50 still is under billionaire level, $3 million is going to mean something to you. So I think it also speaks to 50 Cent's integrity. He clearly has integrity with what he does with his brand and his image. And I also would be willing to venture that this guy probably has a lot of offers that he turns down. If this dude is going to turn down $3 million for a performance, I would imagine he probably gets thrown offers all the time that he doesn't want to do. But that's the beauty of being a boss. That's the beauty of having enough money to have the career that you want, to portray the image that you actually want to portray. That's the beauty of being the boss. And 50 Cent is bossed up. So it's a good thing. It shows the integrity. And ultimately, man, I really do feel like everybody should have their say. I really do feel like this is a really important time for everybody to have their say. And here's the other thing, too, about endorsing a candidate like Trump. Because we've kind of seen this with some people who've endorsed Donald Trump, even people who were hardcore Donald Trump MAGA people. I'm talking like alt-right, more extreme than Donald Trump. We've seen some of these people even switch on Trump. And the reason I think that is because Donald Trump is so incredibly unpredictable that you really don't know what he's going to do next. I've seen people who supported Trump for years who there's things that there's things that he's done recently where they don't want to support him anymore. He is a very volatile candidate. Whether you support him or not, you have to admit he's a volatile candidate in that sense. So if 50 Cent was to support Donald Trump today, and then tomorrow Trump does the next thing that might lose him some supporters, and we never know what this guy's going to do. So if I was to publicly endorse someone, if I was passionate about Trump, I would do it. If I was an American, probably. But again, it's tough to endorse Donald Trump. He's very volatile. He's a guy that if you tie him to your business, you never know what's going to happen next. Regardless of what people think about each issue, whether it's January 6th, whether it's this or that, again, there's a lot of varying opinions about that. And that's a conversation we could have. But the one thing, regardless of what you think of each individual scenario, is that there's a lot of varying circumstances happening quickly with Trump. For good, for bad, whatever the case may be, it changes all the time. Latinos for Trump in the chat. Oh shit. So what do you guys think? I saw a couple people saying 50 made the right choice. Yeah, I mean, great commentary. Thank you, Karen. Celebrities don't belong in politics. They live in an alternate universe. Tired, I would agree with that too. Honestly, I would rather hear like a commentator or just a person who's actually invested in politics talk about it rather than a celebrity talk about politics. Because I'm at the point now when I see any celebrity talking about politics, I completely tune out. I mean, Beyonce, Eminem, really? We did the stream for Eminem. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and go back to my live stream page. You can see my stream when I covered the Kamala rally with Eminem. I mean, you just want to throw up in your mouth watching these people, especially in an election cycle like right now, where it's entirely focused mostly on the economy. Okay? In an election cycle where we are talking about the price of groceries, the price of everyday essentials, gas, putting $5 in the tank to get your kids to school. This is the last election that I want to hear a peep out of any celebrity. How dare you, as a millionaire, and sometimes in some cases billionaire, how dare you go on a stage and talk to me about the economy and what choices I should make? You got to be out of your goddamn mind. Okay, these people get on stage and they talk about the border when they live in gated communities. These people talk, yeah, that's right, Splash, they talk about the border. They live behind an iron wall. Nothing can infiltrate it. And you want to talk to me about how illegal immigration, all these things aren't that bad. There's no migrant crime. Yeah, not in the Hamptons, because that's where you are, with armed guards. I don't want to hear about any of this shit from celebrities. I don't want to hear about gun control from people who are guarded by guns. I don't want to hear about safety from people who live behind the walls. I don't want any of that. So this is starting to become a joke now. And again, it doesn't matter what side it's on. Like even the Elon Musk endorsements for Trump, it's just kind of getting a little too much. It's just what I'm not listening to Elon Musk about a lot of these issues. Again, there's issues where Elon Musk is very obviously he's a genius in a lot of areas. But when we're talking about everyday life, I'm not listening to Elon Musk unless you're talking about the environment, building cars. Like, bro, this is what I want to know about. Gotta take a sip. So this wasn't the first time 50 Cent has spoken about Trump in the last little while. 50 Cent said a couple of months ago that he sees why black men are identifying with Donald Trump when it comes to the upcoming election. But this is stupid. See, I was reading this as if it's about to be like a serious quote or something like that, but this quote is ridiculous. He goes, I see them identifying with Trump because they got RICO charges. Bro, 50 is such a clown, man. 50 Cent is such a clown to say that. I see the black community relating to Trump because they have RICO charges. First of all, no, they don't. No, they don't. What percentage of black America actually even has the money to have RICO? And that even sounds more racist, but it's true. I mean, what percentage of the population actually has RICO charges? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. But look, man, I did some. I mean, there might be something to it. We could write it off as racist, even though it makes no sense. I was racist. 50 Cent is from the same demographic. But look, there is some truth to that, guys. I was doing street interviews in New York back in July when I was asking them who they would vote for. People all across Manhattan, all different boroughs. We went from Brooklyn to Harlem to Manhattan, and asking a lot of the boys in Harlem who you're voting for. They all said Trump, and the one guy looked me in the face and told me, Trump's got a felony and I got one too. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. This is word for word quote. Go to my channel, watch the video. We should almost pull up that video. Hang on a second. We're going to pull up the video of me doing the interview with the guy who said, Trump's got a felony and I've got one too. That was one of my favorite moments of the entire summer. But I will tell you guys, I did a whole day of interviews in New York City in all different boroughs. We interviewed probably 35 to 40 people that day. And I would say out of 40 people, one of them said they were voting for the Democratic Party. So, 35, 40 people literally walking up to every age, every random demographic on the street. Who do you vote for, Trump or Biden? Because at that time it was Biden. It was all Trump. Take that information how you will, right? Like, take it for what it's worth. Definitely in New York, though, I was very surprised to hear that, because we hear about how democratic New York is. It's very left. It's very woke. I don't actually believe that. I mean, I think potentially, obviously, in the polls in the past, that was reflected. But from my experience in New York and all the people, and you guys are saying the sources, trust me, bro, when I'm literally pulling up the video now. So let's see who's laughing in a couple of moments. But that's the thing. I don't think New York is as left as they say. Okay, we got the video. We got the video. Are we still on? Okay, we're still on. All right, guys, so check out this clip. This is my interview with the guy in New York. Oh, fuck off. Here we go. You guys got to get a load of this. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe as well. We have new clips up every single day.
Who am I here with today? Gas for that fucking ass. Trump or Biden? I like Trump. Fuck that. Nobody can get a similar check. Fuck Biden. Biden like 90. Biden, fuck you, Biden. Biden, fuck you. He didn't do shit for us. Nothing. Trump got a felony. He's still gonna be the president. Trump got a felony, and I got one too. We broke Biden. What the fuck? It's a struggle, nigga.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from Harlem, New York City. Straight from the streets, straight from the horse's mouth. The people on the streets want Donald Trump. The average everyday American wants Donald Trump. Okay, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. It's absolutely unbelievable. And guys, like I say, I couldn't believe the support for Trump. I couldn't believe it. And you know what every single person said? They told me, it's very simple. When Donald Trump was president, I had money in my pockets. When Donald Trump stopped being president, I had no more money. It's a pretty simple decision, and that is why I don't care about celebrity endorsements, because it doesn't matter if Putin becomes president. Beyonce is still going to be a billionaire. It doesn't matter who the president is. Elon Musk will still be a billionaire. I don't give a shit about celebrity endorsements, bro. That is the opposite of what we need. I feel like even this stream, it's a distraction. We're too distracted by the celebrity shit, because now I'm talking about 50. What we should be talking about is the issues. That's what we should be talking about. But it's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy time. My birthday is on election day, November 5th. So every Every 4 years, I get a crazy ass birthday. And I might wake up to a good birthday, I might wake up to a bad one. Who are you guys voting for? Are you guys voting for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Should we put a poll up? Let's put a poll up right now. Or we'll say who will win the election, and then I'll read the results. I'm putting it right now. If you guys are enjoying the stream, man, make sure to hit that subscribe button up above. I'm live every single day with new topics. Okay, we're going to put the poll, and then we're going to move on probably to the next story. Who will win the election? Okay, guys, you can vote right now.
A few years ago, I started sharing my love.
And then we're going to come back and take a look at the poll. Who will win the election, Trump or Kamala? Seeing a lot of Trump in the chat. A lot of Trump. No matter what, Trump will continue to say he won. Yeah, Luna, you know what? He probably will. I've been kind of thinking about what he might do if he does lose this election. Definitely, and I said this because I did a live reaction to his Joe Rogan podcast, which you guys can find on my channel. I did the whole thing. And that's where I think he was the weakest on the Joe Rogan podcast, especially when it comes to undecided voters, okay? Because if you put yourself in the shoes of an undecided voter and you believe in the democratic process and it says that this guy lost, how do you think it sounds to an undecided voter when this guy is sitting there saying he won? I mean, he was speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast. He goes, we had a huge win the second time too. And I was like, the second time, what does he mean? And I was like, oh, he really genuinely believes he won the 2016 election. Like, he speaks of it in the past tense as if it happened. And that to me is a bad move because it makes him, to an undecided voter, sound completely delusional. He's sitting here telling us he won an election when Biden has been president for 4 years. And I understand that his supporters believe that he won it. I get that, guys. You guys think he won? And that's cool. Like, I'm not trying to change your mind. What I am saying, though, is that to an undecided voter, that's a horrible tactic because it makes the whole Trump thing just look insane, and that it makes it look like he's not based in facts. Okay, and I meant to say 2020, Ryan. I meant to say the 2020 election. He was speaking about the 2020 election as if he won it. And again, guys, I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand from the perspective of the undecided, because that's what that Joe Rogan podcast was about, guys. That Joe Rogan podcast was the opportunity for Trump to go on and reach millions of people who otherwise would have never, ever listened to him. You got to understand that that podcast has been watched about 100 million times. At least 30, 40 million of those people are not Trump supporters. They're not people who watch Trump's rallies. They're people who probably have only been fed headlines about Trump and they know nothing else about him. This was like his job interview again. It was like a job interview to come back the second time and prove himself to the people who didn't get it the first time. But that's the thing. He went on Joe Rogan and he didn't do that. The only people he appealed to on that podcast are people that already like him. I don't know about that technique. You know what I mean? I don't know about that technique. And that is where he looks bad when he keeps saying, I won the 2020 election. It looks bad to everybody who doesn't support him. Otherwise, I think the Rogan podcast was pretty good. I've heard a very mixed reaction about the Rogan appearance with Trump. Some people have said that it was really good. They thought he was funny. It was interesting. Other people thought it was a train wreck. I would give the Rogan Trump podcast, I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. I think it was pretty good. I think there was some really interesting moments in it, but I do think that it was hard to kind of follow Trump's train of thought a lot of the time. But that's just kind of the way he is. His mind seems to be very rapid fire. So in that sense, it was an interesting glimpse into his mind, because that's what I like about Joe Rogan's podcast. I like the fact that, you know, you can get a sense of how somebody's mind works, even if the content itself isn't fully there. It's like you're actually sitting with that person. That's what I love about it. Just reading some of the chat here, guys. What did you guys think of the Trump Rogan podcast? Got a 10 out of 10. Let's take a look at the poll. We put up a poll, guys, which you can still vote on. Who will win the election, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? 66% of my current audience right now says Donald Trump is going to take the election. 34% are going to vote for Kamala. Yeah, man, I think, you know, definitely. Look, I think that it's fairly close right now, but I don't think that it's as close as it was. Like, if I was betting money, I would say Trump's going to win. I think Kamala had a really good chance when she first got in, because there was this buzz from the left and all the undecideds. They were so happy that Biden was out, they could have put a fucking wet shoe up on the podium and it would have won over Joe Biden. I mean, the pathetic, despicable performance of Joe Biden, rivaled by anything, makes you know, that person look great. But now I think it started to die down a little bit. You know what I mean? It started to die down. You know, and this is one of the things, by the way, when we talk about Kamala coming in, this to me is my major issue with Kamala Harris right now. It's not only her very poor track record and her track record of working on projects and areas that have failed, but it's also the fact that she was the head person behind a massive cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive abilities. This woman sat there for 4 years and watched this man deteriorate, watched this man decline. I mean, you think of the way we saw Joe Biden on TV. Imagine how he was behind the camera. Imagine the babbling, incoherent, the falling. Just imagine what Joe Biden was like off camera if what we saw was him at his best. This woman sat there and lied for years about it when directly asked about it. This woman had the nerve to go on television with Anderson Cooper after that debate and tell us that Joe Biden had a slow start. A slow start to what? The administration? Because last time I checked, it's been 4 years and you've got nothing done. So it's a slow start is right. But it wasn't a slow start to the debate. That was a poor performance from a man who should have been in bed. That man should have been in bed. It should be criminal that Joe Biden was allowed to perform past that point. Somebody needs to be held accountable. And the number one person who was in front of the camera telling us that Joe Biden is sharp, telling us that Joe Biden is capable, that he's logical, he's healthy, was Kamala Harris. That is a huge problem for me. Okay, that's a huge problem for me. How can I trust this woman when she's been sitting there and lying to us through the whole administration? I mean, even Anderson Cooper thought she sounded crazy. Anderson Cooper! I never thought I'd see the day where Anderson Cooper was making more sense than another human being. Unbelievable. All right, guys. We're probably going to move on to the next story. Somebody said, I think Trump is healthy. I never said Trump is healthy. And again, this is what the chat does. The trolls come in and they troll and troll because, again, it's assumed that just because you don't say a negative thing about Donald Trump, that you fully support Donald Trump. Hate to break it to you, folks. Logical thinking is somewhere in the middle. You don't have to be a MAGA cultist or a fucking blue-haired liberal to have a say. You can actually use your brain and look at it in a different way. That's the thing. I'm just because I don't, say, oh, I want Donald Trump assassinated. He's evil. He's Hitler. He's Hitler. He's a danger to democracy. Just because I'm not running around jumping on tables crying about Donald Trump doesn't mean I support everything he does, okay? You guys got to be crazy. Why should I vote for Kamala? I don't know that you should vote for Kamala, my friend. If you support Kamala, you should vote for her. Thank you, Luna. So look, guys, that's it. At the end of the day, 50 Cent, we've gone a long way from the initial conversation that we were having, but 50 Cent denying that he would perform at the Trump rally. So I think that was a pretty good move. Again, make sure to hit the subscribe button up above. And guys, for everybody in the chat, everybody who thinks they're going to get under my skin, it's not possible, because the only reason I do these lives is so we can have an open dialogue. I want to hear from everybody. So at the end of the day, like, there's nothing you can say that can bother me. All comments are welcome, my friends. Let's have an open conversation. This is why I do these streams. It's the anti-CNN. It's the anti-MSNBC. It's the anti-Fox News. We can all have a conversation. Okay, guys, let's go to the next one. Unless there's anything else you guys want to ask me about. I'm having fun talking with you guys about this one. What tough questions do you guys want me to answer? Okay, how about this? Before we go to the next story, it's Q&A time. Hit me with the tough questions that you want me to answer, and I will answer the tough questions. What do you want me to know? Or what do you want to know, rather, about me? Do I trust Trump? No. I don't even know him. Why would I trust somebody I don't know? What's the next one? We're doing Q&A. We're doing a Q&A. Talk about what politicians have done for black people. Well, from what I understand, Donald Trump has done a lot for black America. He was one of the best presidents for black America that we've seen in recent years. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, has done nothing for black America. So that's really just the way I see it. If we're comparing two candidates, that's what I would say. And this is not only from documented statistics, but this is also from having actual conversations with black Americans. Knowing black Americans, knowing people from all different neighborhoods, all different walks of life, who tell me what it was like under Donald Trump, they have good things to say about it. So at the end of the day, take from that what you will. If somebody tells me they had more money in a certain period of time, I don't need a source for that. The source is that they're telling me they had more money. That's what I'm saying. Is my life better now than it was 4 years ago? Absolutely not. All right, guys. At the end of the day, we can keep going on and on and on. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love all you guys in here. This is amazing. I love having this conversation with you guys. Okay, so we're probably going to move on to the next one. Again, I'm not a spokesperson of Donald Trump. I'm not here to explain Donald Trump's campaign. That's not my job. Frankly, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not a representative of Donald Trump. So you guys can ask all of these questions to somebody who's actually invested in that way. I'm not here in support of Donald Trump. I'm simply covering a story about 50 Cent. And again, the chat right now is a sad commentary about the current state of politics. It really is. Unfortunately, people are so weaponized. They are so hair-triggered. People are so upset over the fact that I'm even talking about 50 Cent with Donald Trump, that they make it a political issue. At the end of the day, that's not my bag. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to support a candidate. I'm not here to do any of these things. At the end of the day, black unemployment and Hispanic unemployment was at an all-time low rate under Donald Trump. He signed initiatives to help small black businesses in underprivileged areas. He sent out relief. He did a lot of things for the black community. You don't have to support somebody to say something they did good. I could find a politician who I hate, and I could tell you good things about him. I could tell you all types of good things about him, and I could also tell you bad things about him. These are the facts. We're going to hop over to the next story. We're going to be here all night if we keep going down this rabbit hole, but we will be doing more political streams, so make sure to subscribe. Hit the button up above, the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you guys need to do your research. If you guys don't do your research, I'm not going to sit here and spoon feed you the information. That's really what it's about. Tekashi 6ix9ine, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the infamous rapper, has been arrested yet again by the feds for violating terms of his probation. This is a man who literally cannot stay out of trouble, and we're about to cover all of the details right here, right now. So Tekashi 6ix9ine was arrested today for violating the terms of his supervised release. He was taken into custody on Tuesday morning. He's set to be arraigned later this afternoon, so this obviously has already happened. At a New York City federal courthouse for allegedly violating the conditions of his supervised release. Tekashi's original plea deal in 2020 was no walk in the park, as reports TMZ, after he was hit with various charges for racketeering, firearm offenses, conspiracy, narcotics trafficking, and many other crimes. Now, here is the update on this case, because it was said that there was not a clear definition of what the violation of his case was. But now it's actually been cleared up. So TMZ has the update that 6ix9ine's lawyer, Lance Lazaro, told TMZ that Tekashi was notified 2 weeks ago he violated his probation. He was ordered to appear before a federal judge today in New York City, but he was an hour late to his court hearing, and the judge dispatched U.S. Marshals to go and find him. So that is what happened with 6ix9ine, and I mean, God, the idea that you're going to be in this much trouble and actually be late for a court case. I wouldn't be late for anything. Look, if my freedom's on the line, I'm there an hour early shining my shoes in the lobby. There's not a fucking thing that you could do to get me on a violation like this. So the original reason he was being called to court is because there were 3 violations according to the government. Tekashi 6ix9ine performed in Las Vegas, Nevada without permission from the probation department. That was the first thing. The second violation was that Tekashi failed a drug test, testing positive for crystal meth. Hold on, I didn't see this earlier. Now that explains the look. Actually, you know what? That explains a hell of a lot. Tekashi 6ix9ine does meth. It all makes sense now. Legitimately, it all makes sense now. I can totally see it, the look, the sound, everything. So he performed in Vegas without permission to leave. He failed a drug test and tested positive for meth, and also failed to take a required drug test at another time. Damn. His lawyer says that the positive for meth could be a false positive, and says that Tekashi 6ix9ine takes Adderall. Wow. Isn't that scary that so many kids are on Adderall and that could come up positive in a test as meth? I mean, that's insane. That's actually crazy to me, and makes you question what you're giving your kids. But yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine in 3 different violations. Now look, guys, I honestly, here's what I sort of have to say about Tekashi 6ix9ine at this point. This guy would be living a similar life even if he wasn't famous, if you ask me. This guy is literally destined to be a jailbird. That's all he is. Tekashi 6ix9ine is a rich jailbird. And there is nobody who can convince me that this dude wouldn't be living a life of crime even if he was broke. The only difference now is that he's rich and famous. But let me tell you something, he's not that rich anymore. And the reason he's not that rich, guys, is because he's spent so much money on his own stupidity. How many hundreds of thousands, potentially millions, actually not even potentially, because when you tally it up, it is millions. How many millions of dollars has this guy spent on his own stupidity, on lawyer fees, on getting out of jail, on bail, on putting money on his books? This dude has spent so much money getting himself out of trouble, and he keeps getting back into trouble. I firmly believe Tekashi 6ix9ine was destined to be in jail. This dude is a loser, okay? And it's, you know what the real test of a loser is? Somebody who's actually given the chance to change and they fuck it up anyway. And they go right back to revert to their old ways. That, to me, my friends, is the definition of a loser. Because this dude, and again, we talked about this with Lil Durk yesterday on the stream. Make sure to subscribe. Is that somebody like Lil Durk or somebody like 6ix9ine, there are kids out there working on their music who would sell their soul, literally, trust me, sell their soul to be in the spot of a 6ix9ine or a Lil Durk, to legally earn money off of their fame. Okay, there are people who would sell a kidney to be as successful and privileged as a guy like Tekashi 6ix9ine. And instead of realizing how blessed he was to be the one in a trillion, one in a fucking billion people who makes it in this business, he still decided to blow it with his own stupidity. I mean, you can't write this stuff. And I do feel the same way about Lil Durk. Lil Durk was on some loser behavior. That's the reason he's in jail. He's in jail because of his own stupidity. And same with Tekashi 6ix9ine. This guy has had every opportunity not to go to jail. This guy could live an easy life doing club appearances, getting 20, 30 grand a night. Probably even more than that. You know, I called Tekashi 6ix9ine's representatives. I was working for a company at the time, a major media company, one of the biggest on YouTube. And I had a conversation with Tekashi 6ix9ine's management about getting him on an interview. And I figured it would probably cost something, but I wasn't aware what it would actually cost. This dude told me that the price for a Tekashi 6ix9ine interview would be $1 million. My right hand to God, this man told me it was $1 million to interview Tekashi. Now, whether or not this is actually true, whether or not he was trying to maybe get more money out of me, maybe he thought I was some rich kid like Jack Doherty or something who would toss him $1 million. Whatever the case may be, even if he could make a fraction of that off of interviews, this dude could be set for life. You make $250K off an interview. You put half in stocks. You put half in a fucking TFSA account. You put a little bit in some investments. I mean, guys, it's not hard to get rich when you're being handed money. Let me rephrase that. It's not hard to get richer when you're already rich. This dude had done the hard part. Tekashi 6ix9ine has done the hard part. The hardest part is blowing up. The hardest part is actually getting big. Same with Lil Durk. They've done the hard part. And now what do? They decide to piss all over the opportunity that they've been given. Tekashi 6ix9ine is currently still in jail. Up until this point, he was on supervised release. And by cooperating with the authorities the first time when he snitched, he avoided a 47-year prison sentence, guys. So again, not only was this a guy who was blessed with a career, when his music sucks, first of all. Like, it's one thing if, like, at least a guy like Lil Durk is actually talented. He actually has musical talent. Tekashi 6ix9ine just flat out sucks. and he's just a straight up clout entertainer. To be handed a career where you can actually make money, go down the wrong road, because look, you're not a bad person if you go down the wrong road and learn your lesson. Like, I have actually respect for people who do that. You go down the wrong path, you get involved in drug dealing or racketeering, whatever. I would actually have respect for 6ix9ine going through that if he would have come out the other side, especially when he didn't have to do any time for it. If he would have come out and said, okay, I'm going to change my life now. Listen, if I was an atheist and I had the luck of a guy like 6ix9ine, I would be praying to baby Jesus. I would believe. I would be a believer. If God blessed me with a career when my music sucks, I run a major racketeering organization and I get away with it, my associates are still rotting in jail, it's still not enough for this fucking clown. He's still doing crimes. I mean, you can't write this shit. You can't write it. Somebody says, I'm just jealous. What the fuck would I be jealous of? A scum fuck rat like Snitch 9, I was going to call him, 6ix9ine. Why would I be jealous of somebody like that? 6ix9ine doesn't have anything that I want. He doesn't have anything that I want. Pretty sure he blew up over how ass he was, like the meme artists who no one has on their playlist. Exactly, Leo. That's what I'm saying. He blew up over the fact that he was basically a joke. Because he doesn't have to work a 5 to 9 like you. I work 9 to 5, dumbass, not 5 to 9. Explain why you like Kamala Harris? I don't like anything about Kamala Harris. What are you talking about? I don't know where you guys come up with some of these comments. Like, it's fucking hilarious. There's nothing I like about Kamala Harris. Nothing to be jealous of. He's foolish. Absolutely. I completely agree. Is this the dude they caught watching porn at work? I saw that today, Jack. That was funny as hell. I'm not voting for anybody. I'm Canadian, if you couldn't tell from the shirt. I'm not voting for anybody. It's not my job to vote. Nothing looks worse than hitting a don't worry, it's a weed vape. It's not a nicotine fucking death machine. Gotta relax after all this political talk. God damn. No one likes this kid. That's what... oh, wait, hold on a second. King Von don't like this kid? What are you talking about, bro? Oh, you mean 6ix9ine. I thought you were talking about me. I am smoking crypto. Who's running this shit? You guys want a blinker? See, that's when I'm going to lose all my conservative audience, when I start smoking weed and shit, because that's where I start losing my conservative friends. They're like, oh, it's like, you know, he's smoking. That's where I start losing my buddies on that side. All right, we'll do a blinker anyway. But this one's easy to make blink. Nothing major. I don't blink? I'll try to blink more for you. I'm sorry. You're conservative and you don't care if I smoke? Very good. I like to hear that. So you live in Canada. How is Canada? Canada is a very interesting place. I would say, and I'm not going to go on a whole thing about this, but I would briefly say that Canada is a great place to live if you have money. Thanks for the dono, Anthony. I appreciate that. So yeah, basically, like, Canada is a great place to live if you have money, if you have a car, if you have a good job. Basically, anybody who is below that line of financial security is fucked here. The weather sucks, so there's that. I think Canada is okay, but it's not where I'm going to choose to live the rest of my life. I just happen to be born here. But I'm not planning on sticking around. Justin Trudeau has completely ruined this country. I'm vocally against Justin Trudeau. I disavow Justin Trudeau in every way. He's a terrible candidate. And I will say to my American friends out there, the one thing that most of us Canadians here love about your country and respect about your country is the fact that you guys value freedom, the value that you guys place on freedom. And when you don't feel free, the way you guys will fight for it is so inspiring, man. And I aspire to have that. I really do. It is the Constitution. You guys have rights. You guys have rights. I mean, shit. You guys have the right to defend yourselves. We don't have the right to defend ourselves. There's a guy here in Canada who shot somebody who broke into his house with a gun, and he almost did life in prison. This dude was about to get killed. You live in Jerusalem, Israel. Wow, shout out to Jerusalem. What is it like over there? No, guys, I'll tell you, there is censorship as well. Like, if I try to look at certain websites in Canada here, if I try to look at certain news websites, it will literally say on my screen, this content is not available in Canada. That's what it will say, because Justin Trudeau and the government have blocked us from being able to access a lot of the worldwide mainstream news. And here's the kicker. All the mainstream news in Canada is government funded. So what do you think that does to the political slant here? They ban everybody who's not funded by them, and then they make us only read government-funded state media, essentially. You can find stuff, don't get me wrong, but most of it is blocked. You tell me what that sounds like. There's a word for it. There's a word for it. See what you guys are saying down here. 6ix9ine still has a case in the DR where he escaped through Haiti to get into the USA. There you go. I remember he got in trouble in the Dominican, actually. Is this pre-recorded? Nothing. I guess you're going to have to... I guess we'll never know. Nothing. That's right. It sounds like fascism. Sounds like Russia. Exactly, guys. Kind of sounds communist. Kind of sounds fascist. Kind of sounds wrong. Does it not? It's not just me. And I love my country. I absolutely love my country. And see, this is where people get confused. They hear me being vocal about my issues with the country, and they mistake it as me disliking the country. The truth of the matter is, I love this country so much, I actually get passionate about it. I love the people here. I think Canada has some of the greatest people in the world. And I think they deserve to live the highest quality of life possible. And when they are not being given that, it drives me crazy. So I get very passionate. But here it's not fashionable to talk about anything, like basically political correct culture here is everything. So I can say something in a public setting in Canada that might be true. I can put up a post about it or talk to people about it. And even if it's true, people will not take to it because it's politically incorrect. So it's not really fashionable here to talk about your issues. They just see it as, well, you're not proud of where you're from. That's the thing. I mean, in America, that's, again, one of the things I love about America. There's an ongoing dialogue from everybody in the country as to how can we make this country better. All you guys want is to be more free, have more money, have more opportunity, and be better. Here, things go to shit, and everybody, they sit around smiling. Oh, you want to go bowling tonight? I'm broke! I can't afford to go bowling because of Justin Trudeau. What the fuck? Now I'm pissed. Guys, I'm telling you, I've done a couple episodes about the Trudeau and what it's like here when they were arresting protesters for freely, peacefully protesting in the streets. I did an episode about that. So make sure to subscribe, guys. We got a lot of topics coming, a lot of different topics. You guys are funny. You guys are funny, man. But this is a whole conversation. Like, this would take hours and hours because I'm starting to read the comments to really explain all of this and for us to all, see eye to eye. This would take hours, but it's not going to be done in one night. We're going to keep covering these topics. So again, make sure you're subscribed. We're going to keep talking about Canada. We're going to keep talking about the election. I'll probably do an election stream every day until November 5th. Let's go, baby. It's the beautiful thing. And trust me, we're going to talk about some of those, the stuff you guys are saying in the chat, we're going to talk about it all. Trust me. How's that free healthcare? Not good, because most people die of their ailments before they're seen by a doctor. So I would rather pay for it. That's how the free healthcare is going. I couldn't get a cavity filled for 6 months. That's how the free healthcare is going, my friend. So thanks for checking in. I appreciate that. All right, guys, we're going to hop over to one more story. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to subscribe. What did my guy say here? He said, I spent 2 months in a jail in Canada for crossing the border illegally, but I still love Canada. Wow. Well, I will tell you, man, I mean, I kind of respect that because you kind of were asking for it if you're illegally, going into a country. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Canada's border is one of the toughest. You know, I would say even as a Canadian, like coming back into the country from another country, really, really tough, man. They're tough. But the thing is, they're tough at the border, and we don't have the illegal immigration thing because they're soft on the immigration. So they're actually harder on people who are born and raised in Canada than they are to actually people who aren't even from here. Like, it's probably harder for me to go on a trip to America and come back to Canada than it is for people to actually come into Canada who've never been here. It's a whole thing. It's insane. But I will tell you, now we're really starting to go. How far down the rabbit hole do you guys want to go? I mean, you guys tell me. I'm with you. If we're in it, we're in it. Canada can't even win in hockey. Oh, that one hurt, bro. That one hurt. Donald, that one hurt right here, bro. Please. Not my hockey. Fake news. Fake news. Dental is considered cosmetic. Yeah, no. It's yeah. Again, it's a whole thing. We have different systems. It's just too much to explain in a night. Hey, man, I love reading the chat. All right, guys, let's go to one more story. One more story. We got to stay on topic here. I got to stop getting sidetracked. So, Tobias Forge of Ghost has announced that the brand new Ghost tour across North America will be 100% cell phone free. Now, this is a popular approach that people have been experimenting with, but hasn't really been implemented as much in the world of music. We've seen mostly people having their phones locked away at comedy shows. That's a big one. I myself went to some comedy clubs in the United States recently. Our phones were put in envelopes or various lockable contraptions. And now it looks like Ghost is going to be following suit with their tour being a phone-free experience. So let's go ahead and read here from Metal Hammer. So the hard rock band made the statement in the fine print of the poster for their run of shows, which will actually take place. It's not just North America, it's UK, Europe, US, and Mexico. They write, this show will be a phone-free experience. Phones will be secured in yonder pouches. Guests maintain possession of their phone at all times. So basically, just to give you an image here, as you're coming in, they give you this lockable pouch. And you put your phone in it, they have to see you lock it. And you don't actually have access to open this pouch unless somebody comes and opens it up for you. So basically, it limits you from using your cell phone. You have it on you, so it's not going to get stolen. Or if you really needed it in case of emergency, you could go and access it. But this is a new way to keep people from using their cell phones at these concerts. Now, we've seen a lot of different rockers actually coming and speaking out against people using their phones at concerts. We recently saw Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day tell the audience, look, put away your phones. I'm tired of looking at a sea of cell phones. And he actually told the crowd, be here with me now. Like, I am here with you now. We're face to face. Let's enjoy this moment. So this is something that I think has been getting under the skin of many different artists. So I kind of understand it. At the same time, though, I don't know how good of a move this is in the modern age of 2025 it's about to be, especially when it comes to these guys looking for, looks like I have a ghost behind me here. When it comes to these guys looking for the younger audience. Look, at the end of the day, the younger audience is really who you're going to want to reach. And the number one way that young people are actually discovering new concerts to go to, discovering brand new bands, seeing the impact of these live shows is through videos on social media that other people have taken at the concerts, okay? I can tell you as somebody who is a, creator who does TikTok, I'm on TikTok a lot to post my stuff. I don't really use it recreationally. But I always see that these concert tours, the second they hit TikTok, that's when they start selling tickets. That's when they start selling tickets because people see on TikTok, wow, look at the Ghost concert experience. Look at the Travis Scott concert experience. Look at that amazing stage. Listen to the crowd. That is what's getting them to buy tickets. We are not in the era. And I understand that Tobias Forge, this cat's fucking driving me goddamn crazy. I understand that Tobias Forge is from the old school. Okay, Tobias Forge is from the old school. So he's trying to preserve the old school show business aspect of you hear about how great this show is and you have the mystery behind it so that when you actually come and see it, it's more intriguing and you're more invested. That seems to be where Tobias Forge is coming from. But as much as I admire that, and I think he should do whatever he wants with his shows, I would say it's probably not the greatest approach because we're not in that era. Okay? Nobody is using their imagination anymore because everything's right in front of them. Okay? You can't tell me to imagine how great your concert's going to be. And also, people don't really tell stories like they used to. They show pictures. Okay? When I go to a concert, I don't sit there and tell my friends how great it was. I'll show them a picture. I'll show them a video. Now, I can also understand the other side of it, that this is irritating, obviously, for the people who aren't in that mindset. Maybe some of the older crowd, maybe some of these people who, generally just want to go and listen to the music and they're not plugged into social media like that. They're not on their phones like that. I can only imagine how annoying it would be to not be on your phone and be surrounded by a sea of people using their cell phones, taking videos of the show. That would be incredibly irritating. I got to step outside of my own perspective. For me, it doesn't bother me because I am a social media creator. So I'm constantly on my phone. But I'm not one of these douchebags who's just filming the whole show on his phone to go home and not even watch it and just for the sake of filming. Like these people who just film and take 1,000 pictures, who are you showing these pictures to? Where are you putting these pictures? I'm actually making a video. I'm making money off it. I'm getting paid to be at this show. These guys are paying to be at a show and take pictures and do nothing with them. So that's the thing. I can understand all angles of it. I can understand why cell phones at a concert are disruptive in a lot of ways. I'll tell you guys an anecdote too before we wrap up this segment. I was at a Tool concert, and Tool, for anybody who doesn't know, is a metal band who is infamously tough on cell phones, okay? Infamously tough. They do not want them at the shows. They will kick you out. Maynard James Keenan, the singer, said on the microphone at the last song, you can take your stupid fucking phones out now for the last song. So I took my phone out, I'm filming, and security starts flashing their flashlight like a strobe light in my face, on, off, really fast, trying to blind me and trying to obstruct my video. So basically, Tool security's on my ass. I was sitting right close to the front, so they're looking right at me, right? So all I did, I kept filming like everybody else, and I just literally acted like I didn't see them. I was singing along. I think it was Stink Fist they were playing. I was singing along, filming the show, and literally by the time the song was over, security was physically approaching me. And I told them, the show's over. What the fuck do you want to do about it? Throw me out? I said, throw me out. The fucking show's done. So I'm going to take myself out either way. But again, like, my point in telling that story is, I think there's a limit. I think when you're that aggressive against your audience, motherfucker, I paid for the ticket. I'm going to do what the fuck I want. So first of all, let's get that straight. If you're taking my hard-earned money, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do in that seat. So that's the first thing. And it doesn't feel good to be policed at a show. However, I think if you're going to do it right. Do it like Ghost. Put the phones in a pouch. Like, to let people bring their phone and then, like, attack the crowd when they try to use them, it makes no sense. And I've seen Tool a couple times. They did it to me both times, but I just ignore them. I'm like, fuck you. What law is it that I can't film? Okay, well, it's actually multiple. Let me tell you that. I can admit when I'm wrong. It's multiple laws, copyright infringement out the ass, licensing agreements. It's a lot of laws being broken. So that's fair. This isn't like the amendments where you're in public. But yeah, I mean, look, like I say, I think that it's an interesting idea from Tobias Forge. I respect his genius. I do think that he has some crazy genius about him. He's an incredible showrunner in the way that he makes his shows. I've had the opportunity to interview him multiple times, sat and spoken with him, and I've really always been genuinely impressed by his mind and the way that he looks at show business and that classic approach he takes to entertainment. So I really do respect Tobias Forge, and I respect his will to do what he wants with his shows. So I think he should do it as he sees fit. But I do worry from a marketing perspective about this potentially slowing down ticket sales. You know, we have to remember, not everybody buys tickets 6 months in advance. You could say, well, Cassius, the tickets are on sale and people buy the tickets. Who cares about videos on social media after the shows are happening? Well, a lot of people buy tickets the last minute. Most people actually buy tickets the last minute. And a lot of those sales are driven by them seeing it on social media, the concert potentially not even being on their radar, and then they go buy tickets. So that's ultimately where we're at. Yeah, Tool announced the concert in Dominican Republic. You know, Don, I can't tell if you love me or hate me, brother, but I'll take it. I'll take whatever it is. You seem to have, I can't tell if you're interested. You're like that one heckler in the crowd for the fucking comedian. You know, it's hilarious to me. I love you, Don. I can't tell if this guy loves me or hates me. Maybe it's a bit of both. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments about Ghost announcing their phone-free shows. If you're watching the replay, if you're watching at the end, rewind to the beginning. We talked about 50 Cent turning down $3 million to perform at a Donald Trump rally. We talked about Tekashi 6ix9ine getting in more legal trouble. And of course, we talked about Ghost. So very, very interesting stream tonight. I had a phenomenal time. If you enjoyed, please hit the subscribe button up above. Subscribe button. I'm live every day. Let's talk some shit. Let's have some fun. Let's break down some topics. It's always good times here in the live. I have shorts out every single day. And of course, exclusive interviews with people like Tobias Forge. I've interviewed him multiple times. If you're a hip hop fan, if you're an EDM fan, if you like rock and metal, I have interviews with all of those people on my channel. So make sure to go and check it out, guys. And smash the like while you're at it. Help a brother out. It's free. Hope you guys have a great night. Vanessa says, by the way, this caught my eye. I go to festivals alone. No phones sounds very sus. That is a great point. It is a bit of a safety thing too. Like, what happens if there's a, God forbid, a fire in the arena? What happens, there's a lot of reasons you should use phones. Gojira was awesome last month. Gojira is a great band. I saw Gojira live with Metallica back in, I think, 2016. Great show. Really great show. It's a shame we've never had a female president. Yeah, I think it would be, look, if it's the right candidate, I think it would be great to have a female president. Like a Tulsi Gabbard. A woman like that who knows her shit, I think that'd be great. Why not? I definitely don't think we should ever sacrifice the position just for the sake of somebody's gender. Like, we just want this person to win because they're a woman. That to me doesn't fly. It's got to be a woman who really knows her shit. Just like a man who needs to know his shit. Come on, Jack. Or sorry, not Jack. The other guy talking shit. Why a female president? I'm just saying it would be interesting. It would be interesting to have a woman. I don't think it would be a bad thing if she knew what she was doing. Mike, you got to get involved, man. You got to get involved. You do. This is my future, and our future. As I feel like young people especially should be invested. We're paying for this shit. We're paying for this shit. I'm not touching some of these. I'm reading. We're just doing a Q. We're just going to talk some shit now before I end the stream. Like, I'm just literally going to talk with you guys for a minute here. This is cool. She has to be strong and smart. Exactly. Trump is a train wreck. I'm not going to read some of these. I hear you, Mike. I hear you. Thank you for your service as well. I appreciate that heavily. Even though I'm from Canada, I still appreciate you being willing to serve for your country. God bless, man. That takes a whole nother level of dedication. Save your pennies. Harris will need them. This one's for Mike. I don't even want to get off. I'm having a good time with you guys. Best comment of the night right here. Vote for who you wish. It doesn't matter in the end. What matters is getting involved locally with politics. Who said that? TNL? TNL, you get the in-person applause. Phenomenal, phenomenal comment. I completely agree with that. If Kamala wins, it's going to be the same as it is now. So, like, even with all the doom and gloom of if Kamala wins, the country's over. She's in now. We're going to be just as fucked as we are now. Probably more so, which is terrible. If Trump wins, he's going to be the same as he was before with a different flavor to it. It's like At the end of the day, we've already got a trial run of what we're going to get to both. That's ultimately what it is. Just vote. Exactly. Yeah, just vote. It all matters, but local politics is very important. The band that said no cell phone sounds insecure. Yeah, I mean, I can see that perspective 100%. Stick to your own country's political immigrants. No, I'd rather stick to both. Yeah, thanks though. I appreciate the offer, but no, I'm going to stick to talking about whatever I want, actually. Thanks. Justice for Harambe. But I will be talking about Canada, trust me. There's lots to talk about. We're going to do some podcasts, some interviews. I've been working on a documentary about the fentanyl and opioid crisis in Canada, so there's a lot of Canadian-focused content coming down the pipe. If you guys are interested, there's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. It is crazy out here. Like even the Canada that I knew, I'm 26 next week, so 25 years old for now. In my lifetime, this country has drastically changed. It's drastically changed. But again, I need to be very... It's actually safer for me to talk about American politics than it is about Canadian politics at this point in time. Because it is shamed here. And again, that's what I was saying earlier. In America, there's always a dialogue. Here, you are basically outcasted from society if you try to talk about the issues with the system. And I got to make a living too. So I'm going to do it, and I have the courage to do it. But I also I'm not famous or rich enough to just say fuck you. You know what I mean? We gotta figure this out. Got to figure out a way to do it, because people here are very sensitive, boy. Whew. Oh, they're sensitive. Get a job? I have 3. How many jobs do you have? I have 3 jobs. Am I censored? Yes, we are censored on the internet in Canada, and also just basically in our freedom of speech as well. There have been protesters arrested here. People have had their bank accounts frozen. It's crazy out here. I'm trying to interview Pierre Poilievre, who's running for Prime Minister against Justin Trudeau. I'm trying to interview him. I would also love to interview Justin Trudeau if I could. I mean, try to ask him what the fuck is going on. Try to get some answers maybe for myself. Hey, Roy. You own 7 businesses. Good for you, buddy. Oh, guys, trust me, Trudeau is... I mean, think about this, guys. There are no term limits in Canada. So Justin Trudeau, let's just look at how many years has Trudeau been in office. There's no term limits. So Justin Trudeau... Hold on a second. Justin Trudeau, as of today, has been in office for 8 years and 360 days. So almost 9 years, guys. We've been ruled one big stretch by one person. That's what terrifies me, because this dude has expressed admiration for dictators. This dude has literally said he admires China's dictatorship and the way that it's set up to give the leaders more power. So if this guy has no term limits and he has all the control, I'm genuinely worried he's going to rig it in a way where he can't lose and like he'll be the prime minister forever. You know, people talk about Donald Trump becoming a dictator. And here in Canada, I fucking laugh my ass off. I actually laugh my ass off when people say Donald Trump is going to be a dictator. We've had the same leader for 9 years, and he might win again. And the country's destroyed, and he still might win. There's no term limits. That is a dictatorship. And it still won't even be called a dictatorship by people. They won't admit it. They won't admit it. They'll say now, it's not a dictatorship. It is. Okay? Because we got the same guy ruining the country. You tell me what a dictatorship is. If you have no freedom of speech, if you can't protest, if you can't read American news. You tell me what it is. Yes, should I pull up? Maybe I'll pull up the video. Should I pull up the video, guys? Let me pull up the video of Trudeau saying he admires dictators. We have to back up what we say. We have to back up what we say. We can't just say things and not back it up. Did I watch the Joe Rogan interview? Yes, I have a full reaction to the full 3 hours, guys, on my channel. Click my channel and click the live tab. So, see, now what they're going to do is... No, I need to find this on Reddit or something. Because on YouTube, we know they censor everything. Here it is. I'm just going to play it off the screen because, guys, they're censoring shit and the whole deal. So here is Justin Trudeau and the backlash for him saying he respects and admires Xi Jinping. Hold on a second, we need the sound.
There was controversy about the kind of gathering Justin Trudeau held in Toronto this week. Now there are demands for an apology. Some in Toronto's Asian community say they're shocked by the Liberal leader saying he admired the, quote, basic dictatorship in China. Evie Cuervo has the story.
Every one of us is the victim of the Chinese dictatorship. For people here from China, Taiwan, Tibet, and Korea, a dictatorship is something to be condemned, not admired. That's why today, in a united front, they had choice words for Liberal leader Justin Trudeau.
Can I use the word foolish?
Their anger stems from comments made by Trudeau Thursday night.
Which nation's administration do you most admire?
At a controversial fundraiser dubbed Ladies' Night, Trudeau said this.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China. Their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
That comment is an insult to this man. He says he was
But do you guys see, if you even look at the way that clip is edited, that is edited by the state-funded, not state, but it's basically the state media like you would hear in other countries. The government media, which is completely 100% funded by the government, this organization. You can even see the way they're jumping around the quote. They're jumping around it. They're trying not to play the full quote in context. They're showing distracting clips of other people. There is a full clip of that where he says more. But again, guys, I'm telling you, the corruption here is insane. The corruption is absolutely wild. Not to mention our prime minister has done blackface. And I said this too, by the way. I said this when it first happened, and I stand by this to this day. If Donald Trump ever in his life was seen in blackface, he would be dead. Like this dude, they literally would have killed this dude a long time ago if he did 1/10 of what Trudeau has done. Like, the fact that that is acceptable is absolutely insane to me. I know. I can't imagine saying that either. Can't take a joke? What joke? How is that a joke? You think if Donald Trump was in blackface, they said it was a joke? They would say it was a joke? I can guarantee you that the mainstream media would not take it as a joke. I can guarantee it. Yeah, he's just like Putin. Who's being a hypocrite? What hypocrisy am I showing? I want you guys to explain it to me. Tell me what hypocrisy I'm showing by saying that blackface is generally unacceptable. Is that what am I in the fucking KKK live stream? Like what type of how is that a controversial comment to say? Unless I'm at a fucking Klan meeting that I didn't realize. It's like what the fuck? Oh, how dare you say blackface is offensive? We've never heard that one before. You guys are fucking funny, man. You guys try to gaslight me. You cannot gaslight me, bro. I've been doing this for too long. I've been doing this for too long. You guys are funny. But yeah, man, I mean, look, I was going to end the stream half an hour ago, and we started talking about all types of different topics. And yeah, guys, I don't find anything personally offensive. You guys are missing my point. What I'm saying is it should be held to the same standard all across the board. We can't say, well, it's okay if Justin Trudeau does it, but if Donald Trump does it, it's racist. That's what I'm saying. If it's generally considered racist, let's use the general rule all across the board. There's no reason Trudeau should get away with anything somebody else can't get away with. That's what I'm telling you. Exactly. It's either okay all across the board or it's not. Now, you guys aren't going to get me down this path because I need to maintain. I think it's not okay ever. So you guys are not going to change my mind on that. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to change my mind on that fact. How the fuck are we debating if blackface is wrong? You guys are crazy, bro. You guys are crazy. And it's not me who's crazy. You motherfuckers are crazy. I know. What are we doing? Just like you. What are we doing, bro? Best thing about Canada. Bro said, "You guys are crazy." Quote from Crazy Guy. I love it. I like that one. That one's funny. This Freddy guy is a joke. Blackface for president. There we go. That's so funny, man. Trudeau kind of... Well, the thing is... That's a good question. Somebody said, I don't think Trudeau got away with it. I mean, it depends what your consideration is of, like, getting away with something. Like, what do you consider getting away with it to be? I guess to me, I feel like he got away with it in the sense that there was never any repercussions. But there was, in the court of public opinion, a lot of people did give him heat for it. There's actually a local influencer who makes T-shirts with Trudeau in, like, blackface and sells them as a terrible reminder. Shout out to Kyle. How you doing, Kyle? My mod is here. Boy, did I need you an hour ago. I'm just playing. Goddamn, Kyle, help me, bro, please. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this shit. I feel like R. Kelly, man. You guys are killing me with this shit. Yeah, Canada's first dictator, Trudeau. Jake says, I was at a Trump rally in New York City and everybody laughed at the Puerto Rico joke. Nobody thought it was going to be a big deal. Yeah, guys, so we covered the Tony Hinchcliffe thing where he went up and did jokes at the Trump rally yesterday. And boy, this morning I put up my clips about it, and you know, all throughout today, this story is blown up to massive proportions. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe went up at the Trump rally and he made jokes, like racist jokes and just stuff, immigration jokes and all this stuff, which again, I am not a person who gets offended by nearly anything. So I thought some of the jokes were funny. I thought some of them weren't that funny. But he is having a massive backlash, and all I can say is this, man. This dude, obviously, it was maybe a bad setup for Tony. I think they sort of set him up to fail in that sense. And we talked about this yesterday on the stream. If you're subscribed, make sure to go look. But basically, they should have had like a comedy corner or like a comedy part of the show, and not sandwich Tony Hinchcliffe in with all the other actual serious speakers. Like, they have people campaigning for the future of America, literally passionately campaigning for the future of themselves and their children. And then now Tony Hinchcliffe to tell racist immigration jokes, and then back to the next serious guy. I don't know who set up this event, but it was not someone with experience in comedy. I worked at a comedy club for years. I worked with some of the biggest names, TJ Miller, Rob Schneider I worked for, Bert Kreischer, you name it, okay? Bobby Lee. There's a way that you set things up when comedy is going to be involved, and it is not in the way that they did it. They set it up in a strange way, and there's also, I mean, look, this is Tony Hinchcliffe on a massive stage. This is a guy on a massive stage who, yes, Kill Tony is a big show, but this is a whole nother level. This is Tony Hinchcliffe being a household name. And I don't think they were familiar with his style of comedy. You know, they didn't know this guy was a roast comic. They didn't know this guy was one of these, you know, I mean, Tony was playing it clean on that show. The material I heard from Tony at that Trump rally, that's the mildest material I've ever heard Tony say. The least offensive. That's like Tony if he went to meet your grandma and he was making jokes. It wasn't even offensive. How fucking soft are these people? He said Puerto Rico. Shut the fuck up. It's a joke. How stupid can a person be? But he said, I don't care what he said. I don't care what he said. It's a joke. If a guy walks up to you in a serious setting, hi, how you doing? Tony Hinchcliffe, good to meet you. Oh, you're from Puerto Rico? Let me tell you something. Your country is fucking garbage. It sucks. It's terrible. If a guy walks up to you in a serious setting and says that, okay, that's blatantly offensive. I completely agree with you. If you were at a comedy show and the comedian telling jokes on stage says a joke, why would you be offended by that? It doesn't make any sense. And I don't even believe these people are offended. I believe they're pretending to be offended because it's something to do. You know how I can tell somebody has a boring, mundane life? When they like talking about how they're offended. That's when I know you really got nothing going on. Because I don't have time to be offended. Okay, if you're living a fulfilling life, if you have things to do, you don't have time to be offended. I see things I don't agree with every single day. I see things that offend, I see things I don't particularly agree with every day. And I'm never offended. Because I don't have time to be. Nobody has time, if they actually have a life, to be offended by a joke. And this is privileged people. If you were grinding to pay your rent, you don't have time. If you're taking care of your kids, you don't have time. If you have a job, you don't have time. So this is only people who have time. And you can't even take it seriously. Ian, they can't handle the truth. Ian, I'm telling you. Patrick, I mean, it's insane. But this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with, guys. Every single day. And it's a bad time for comedy. It is. It's a bad time for comedy. I was not born in the era of comedy. I will tell you guys that much. I feel for my comedian friends. Look, I know Tony Hinchcliffe. I know Brian Redband. I know the guys. I've known them for a long time. I feel for them right now because they love comedy and it's what they're born to do. But we're in this weird era where the walls are closing in around comedians. And what they can say is just being more and more limited every single day. Make sure to like the stream, guys. Hit the like button. If you're watching on your phone, just double tap the screen. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe up above. I've been going for almost 2 hours uninterrupted for your pleasure. If you appreciate it, I appreciate you. And make sure to show some love on the subscribe and the like. I'm just reading some of you guys' comments. See, I'm as entertained by you guys as you are by me. I'm entertained by you. You guys are the real show. You're the entertainment, not me. Okay, guys. I almost don't want to end. And I'm not going to argue, by the way, with you guys. I mean, if you misunderstand what I say, you can rewind it. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't get paid to argue with you, so I'm definitely not going there. Once I start getting paid to argue with you, that's when I'll argue with you. David, we were talking about a lot of different things. I feel like we're just freestyling now. It was about 50 Cent. We talked about Tekashi 6ix9ine. But now I'm talking to you guys. So we're talking about a lot of different things right now. Yeah, I got a little beer going. Figured why not? Cheers, brother. Kyle, you got to back it up. Everybody wants sources. They want sources, Kyle. I told them I took a shit this morning. They were like, what's your source? Do you have a source? Michael, we already talked about it for like an hour and a half, bro. I'm sorry. If you go back, you can see the rap talk, brother. I got rewind on. He says, I'm a comedian also. That set was trash. The set wasn't great. The set wasn't great. At the end of the day, I just applaud Tony for having the balls to go up there and do that. I mean, he could have gone up and he could have kissed Trump's ass. He could have gone up and said, we need to make America great again. Get out there and vote. No, he took the chance to go up there and deliver his art. He went up there to deliver his art and what he wants to do to the world, to the masses. So I respect that. It's not always going to be funny. But I think the worst thing we can do is police comedians' attempt at being funny, because that's what the whole art form is. It's not always going to be funny. But that's the point. You have to let them try. Otherwise, the whole thing is dead. Thank you, Ron. I really appreciate that, bro. Shout out to my guy, Ron, for subscribing, and everybody else who's subscribing. We're growing the community. And we're live every single day. Clips every single day. I'm grinding. Yeah, if you guys want to see the 50 Cent part, definitely go back to the beginning. We talked about 50 Cent in great detail. Might be it, guys. I mean, look, we're almost at 2 hours. It's been a fun night. I'm just kind of chilling with you guys now. We've covered all our stories. This is why this platform, this medium is so much better than the news. Because, like, when you watch Fox News, CNN, they don't chill with you after the news. They don't take your questions and talk with you guys after the news. This is live and direct, baby. We'll do it live. It's like Bill O'Reilly. This is live and direct. This is the real deal. Trump never liked the island. I thought he said he loved Puerto Rico. He goes, Puerto Rico. I love it. I love they call it Puerto Rico. The way he said it. Ridiculous. All right, guys. That's going to be it for the night. Thanks to everybody who subbed up. We'll see you tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and talking more. I'm sure there's going to be more election stuff. We might look at Kamala's appearances. We might look at some of her train wreck interviews. We might look at some of the crazy, wild stuff that Donald Trump has been doing lately. But whatever it is, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. You guys have a phenomenal night, and we'll chat with you guys tomorrow.